Здравствуйте, я Jenny, и это College Russian. Today we are going to be getting some reading practice. We're going to be reading the first paragraph of one of Pushkin's most famous fairy tales. So in this video, in addition to getting some reading practice, we're going to be talking a little bit about vowel reduction. When people are first starting out reading Russian, it kind of drives them crazy that O's will sometimes get pronounced as ah, and so on and so forth. So we're going to talk about the rules behind that. The great thing about this video, if you're just learning to read Russian, it will be read at a very slow pace. I'm assuming you're still in the phase of sounding out letters and words, and so this will be read at a very slow pace. The inspiration from this came from when my 6-year-old was learning to read, and his teacher wanted him to go home and have me read to him, and he has to follow along with his finger while I read at a very slow pace. So I would love for you to also follow along with your mouse or your finger. That's going to help you to understand what letter, what sound you're saying, and so on. So this is the story in Russian. It's called Сказка о царе Салтане by Alexander Pushkin. Even if you're not a beginner and you already know how to read, this poem is definitely worth memorizing. It rhymes, and so it's really easy to say over and over again, and your Russian friends will be very impressed if you can recite the first paragraph of this very famous fairy tale. So let's first take a minute. We're going to take the first 2 lines of the poem and use them as our example for vowel reduction. So vowel reduction is when vowels get pronounced more shortly than they would if they're stressed. So the thing with the Russian o is that it's only pronounced as o when it's stressed. So underlined are the stressed syllables. If it's not stressed and it's before the emphasized syllable, then it's going to be pronounced as an ah. If it's after, here's the emphasized syllable, and here's an o after it, it's going to be pronounced as what we call in linguistics a schwa, which is a sound. Okay, so let's apply these rules to this little section of the poem. So here we go. Три девицы под окном пряли поздно вечерком. So notice how only the emphasized o, the stressed o's, were actually pronounced as o. The other rule you're going to notice is that the Russian letter y is only pronounced y when it's stressed. So for example, in the word нет, that's where you really hear the y. Everywhere else, it's going to be pronounced as an e. Okay, so let's look at these first 2 lines of the poem and you'll see this in action. So, три, this is not stressed. This one is the stressed syllable, and this one comes before it, so it's going to be pronounced as an e. Три девицы под окном пряли поздно вечерком. Вечерком. Okay, so now as you go through and you hear me reading, you won't be quite as confused why some of the letters are getting pronounced differently. Okay, here we go. So we'll read it very slowly. And again, I recommend that you follow along with your mouse or your finger. Here we go. Сказка о царе Салтане. Александр Сергеевич Пушкин. Три девицы под окном пряли поздно вечерком. Кабы я была царица, говорит одна девица, то на весь крещенный мир приготовила б я пир. Кабы я была царица, говорит ее сестрица, то на весь бы мир одна наткала я полотна. Кабы я была царица, третья молвила сестрица, я б для батюшки царя родила богатыря. Okay, so now let's try it a little bit faster. And I will be doing the voices of the princesses as well, which is authentic if you were being read this by a grandma. Here we go. Три девицы под окном пряли поздно вечерком. Кабы я была царица, говорит одна девица, то на весь крещеный мир приготовила б я пир. Кабы я была царица, говорит ее сестрица, то на весь бы мир одна наткала я полотна. Кабы я была царица, третья молвила сестрица, я б для батюшки царя родила богатыря. So that was the poem. I'm assuming it sparked the interest for many of you about how this poem translates, how does it go on. It's a very long poem, you can read it. So all of that information I have put on collegerussian.com. I've linked to it in the description below. You can find, like I said, links to more information about this poem. And I also talk a little bit there about the illustrator for some of these graphics that I'm using. See this beautiful motif and everywhere. That's from a Russian painter that I love, and I have given you more information about him on collegerussian.com. So if you think these illustrations are really beautiful, then head over there to find out the name of that artist. Also, if you go to College Russian on Facebook, then you can find a little JPEG of this translation that I gave you. I gave an English translation that I found online that follows the rhyming scheme, as well as I went through and gave you the actual English translation for each individual word if you like to learn like that. So you can find that entire JPEG over at the College Russian page on Facebook. Это все. До свидания.